There are coaches who inherit programs, and then there are coaches who absorb them, who feel the heartbeat of a team, who internalize its identity, who commit themselves not just to schemes but to culture, community, soul, and spirit. Ryan Silverfield has always belonged firmly to that second category. His journey to becoming one of the most respected head coaches in modern college football didn't originate from fame, didn't spring from a storied playing career, and didn't evolve from the typical pipeline that produces so many recognizable sideline figures. Instead, his journey has always rested on something far more profound: an unshakable devotion to the craft of coaching, a relentless work ethic, and a belief in people, relationships, and the transformative power of leadership. From a distance, his rise looks improbable. From the inside, it looks inevitable. Silverfield began carving his coaching identity long before he ever reached the collegiate sideline, long before bowl games and media sessions, long before he became the face of a program with national visibility. He started coaching at an age when most future coaches were still dreaming from the stands. At just 18 years old, he stepped onto a high school sideline not as a player, but as a coach. That early start wasn't just unusual, it was practically unheard of. For most, the idea of coaching peers or near peers would be intimidating. But for Ryan Silverfield, it was the beginning of a lifelong calling. Even as a teenager, he possessed a rare combination of empathy and authority, humility and presence. He didn't demand respect, he earned it. He didn't rely on bravado, he relied on preparation. And he didn't aspire to coach because it was glamorous. He did it because he could feel, viscerally, the draw of helping young men grow, learn, compete, and find confidence in themselves. It was never about him. It was always about them. Those early steps were the foundation for a path that would take him through the trenches of coaching. Every level, every responsibility, every type of locker room. He carried equipment, filmed practices, recruited tirelessly, slept in offices, studied film until morning light, and accepted roles that didn't come with spotlight or prestige. He never measured progress by titles or salary. He measured it by impact and opportunity to learn. That mindset, focused on growth, humility, and service, became his signature as he carved through the coaching world. Silverfield's journey through college football reads like the resume of a man determined to understand every layer of the sport. He coached offensive lines, defensive lines, tight ends, running backs. He handled recruiting. He ran position groups. He adjusted to new systems, new expectations, new challenges every time he stepped into a program. Unlike many young coaches who specialize early, Silverfield became a master of adaptability. That versatility didn't just shape his expertise, it shaped his philosophy. It showed him that players are not just athletes. They are human beings with unique strengths, weaknesses, personalities, motivations, and dreams. It taught him that coaching is not about imposing a rigid system. It's about discovering what a team can become when its potential is nurtured, believed in, and unlocked. Family plays a central role in the man Ryan Silverfield is today. His upbringing instilled in him values of commitment, respect, sacrifice, and responsibility. While he didn't follow the athlete-to-coach blueprint that many coaches inherit from family tradition, he did inherit something far more important: a sense of purpose. He understood early that leadership means service. It means lifting others. It means being reliable, steady, and present in the lives of those who depend on you. That grounding became essential as he navigated the unpredictable, nomadic life of coaching. Moving from place to place, job to job, opportunity to opportunity, each stop shaping him, challenging him, preparing him for something bigger. The pivotal shift in his career came when he joined the staff at the University of Memphis. At the time, Memphis was rising, building momentum, establishing itself as one of the most dynamic programs in the country. Silverfield arrived with the same humility and fire he had carried from the beginning. He poured himself into the culture, into the locker room, into the relationships that would eventually define the era he helped shape. Players gravitated toward him because he listened, really listened. He wasn't a coach who barked orders from a distance. He was shoulder to shoulder with his athletes, investing in who they were as people just as much as who they were as players. As Memphis continued to rise, competing fiercely in the AAC, producing NFL talent, earning national respect, Silverfield became a steadying pillar within the staff. He helped build an identity that centered around toughness, intelligence, discipline, and fearlessness. Memphis wasn't just a good team. It was a program with heart, resilience, pride, and belief. Silverfield's fingerprints were everywhere, on the O-line, on the trenches, on the leadership development, on the recruiting philosophy, on the culture of care and accountability. He believed in Memphis, and Memphis believed in him. When the moment arrived for Ryan Silverfield to become the head coach of the Memphis Tigers, it wasn't a gamble, it was a natural evolution. He stepped into the role not as a newcomer, but as someone who had already earned the locker room, the alumni, the fan base, the institution. He didn't replace a culture. He carried it forward. And he brought with him the same consistency, authenticity, passion, and devotion that had propelled him through his entire career. Being a head coach is never simply about calling plays or designing schemes. It is about managing people, managing pressure, managing expectations. It is about representing a university, a city, a community. It is about guiding young men through some of the most transformative years of their lives. Silverfield understood this deeply because he had been preparing for it since he was 18. He saw the role not as power, but as responsibility. Not as a platform, but as a service. Not as a destination, but as the next step in a continuous journey of growth. One of Silverfield's greatest strengths is the bond he forms with his players. They describe him not just as a coach, but as a mentor, a supporter, a steady force in moments of chaos or doubt. He is known for being direct yet compassionate, meticulous yet flexible, demanding yet uplifting. Players trust him because he is genuine, because he shows up, tells the truth, does the work, and cares deeply. Players don't just play for him, they believe in him. That connection has shaped Memphis football into a program defined by fight, unity, and relentless belief. Silverfield's recruiting philosophy reflects the same values. He seeks character just as much as talent. He looks for young men who fit the Memphis mentality: hungry, humble, tough, resilient. He invests in relationships with families, understanding that trust is built long before a player signs. He values development, believing that a player's ceiling expands when he is surrounded by coaches who know how to teach, inspire, and empower. That developmental mindset has been one of Memphis's greatest competitive advantages, and it continues to flourish under his leadership. As a strategist, Silverfield blends modern creativity with old-school fundamentals. His offensive lines play with tenacity and intelligence. His teams execute with precision and confidence. And while every season brings challenges, adjustments, adversity, and moments that test the fabric of a program, Silverfield has consistently proven his ability to lead with composure and clarity. Even when pressure mounts or criticism surfaces, as it inevitably does in the world of college football, he remains grounded, patient, and unwavering in his commitment to the program, his staff, and his players. Away from the field, Ryan Silverfield is a family-oriented, thoughtful, humble man whose identity is not consumed by the profession but shaped by it. He values loyalty, gratitude, and relationships that extend beyond football. The people closest to him often describe him not as a coach, but as someone with a big heart, someone who cares deeply, who gives generously, who seeks always to do the right thing. Coaching may be his career, but connection is his purpose. And that is what makes his leadership impactful not just in wins and losses, but in the lives of the young men who pass through his program. His story continues to evolve, with chapters still unwritten, challenges still ahead, and victories yet to come. But one thing remains certain. Ryan Silverfield is a coach whose legacy will not be defined solely by records or trophies. It will be defined by growth, by relationships, by resilience, and by the countless players whose lives he has changed through guidance, belief, and unwavering commitment. In an era where the business of college football grows increasingly complex, Silverfield represents the kind of leadership that keeps the heart of the sport alive. Leadership rooted in service, authenticity, and a genuine love for the game. Memphis football is not just a program he leads. It is a program he pours himself into, one practice, one meeting, one challenge at a time. And his journey, from an 18-year-old high school coach to the head coach of a major collegiate program, is a testament to what can happen when passion meets perseverance, when humility meets opportunity, when dedication meets destiny. Thank you for joining this deep, reflective look at the inspiring journey of Ryan Silverfield. If you enjoyed this story, stay tuned for more long-form tributes, more in-depth journeys, and more stories that celebrate the coaches and athletes who shape the world of sports with their heart, their drive, and their devotion.